Welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making this time for yourself. And thank yourself for being here. We'll get settled in. I invite you to close your eyes if you'd like, or look down out about 5 feet or so at the ground. Just a gentleness to the head, gentleness to the jaw. And as you close your eyes, before you feel like the work of yoga, just listen and observe. Maybe sounds you hear. Maybe it's your own breath. Notice the air on your skin, maybe on your face or hands or feet. And notice your foundation. Maybe it's the floor or the chair, or your seat in the chair and your feet on the floor. Just notice what's holding you up. And notice your feet. Maybe a particular spot has your attention. And move your attention to the places that don't have your attention. Notice your ankles, your calves. Notice your knees. Just breathe and think about your knees. If one is bothering you, think about the other knee. And your legs and seat. Think about your hips and belly. And moving into the ribs. Maybe not thinking about the breath, but thinking about your ribs and your back. Noticing the chest and under your arms. The back of your shoulders. The top of your shoulders. Your hands and wrists, elbows, arms. Noticing the back of your neck and your throat, your jaw, your cheeks, ears, skull, forehead, and your face. And then I invite you to take a few deep breaths in and out through the nose. If allergies or anything else has that not quite possible, just a gentle opening of the lips. But trying in and out through the nose, just soft, gentle, but fuller than usual breaths. And taking in that whole body of ours. And wherever your hands are, either turning them palms up or just noticing the palms of the hands. And as you take that inhale, stretching and opening the hands, the fingers nice and wide. And then as you exhale, release the hands. Maybe you feel the chest drop and the exhale. Do that 2 more times. Very nice. And sliding the hands down the legs to cup the fingers in front of the knees. Tuck the tailbone gently and just gently waking up, moving into the low back. So reaching back with the mid back, maybe the head falls, The shoulders reach forward toward the ears, but gently. This feels like any strain. If you can't breathe easily, then back off just a tad. That space between work and ease. We want to get into the spaces, but not in a way that prevents us from breathing, which is why we're here. So breathe into the space. As your back gets used to this posture, maybe you do a tiny more tuck to the tailbone, or a tiny more reach of the mid low back, or a tiny more space between the shoulder blades, or lowering the chin. Just be gentle and breathe. Drawing that belly in toward the back of the spine, so we're supporting the low back. And breathing here for a few more breaths, really starting to gently open up the space. Not through movement of the arms and legs, but through the movement of our breath and our ribs. Good. Take a slow, deep breath here. Notice the compression in the front body, expansion in the back body as the ribs open up. Ease in the jaw, ease in the toes as you exhale. Do that 2 more times. Observe with your deep breath, nice and slow. Nice, resting here. Presence in that belly, really drawing it to the spine. Open the eyes if they're closed. And as you draw your elbows sort of in toward your body, tailbone rolling out and back, nice slow rise to seated. Do that nice and slowly because it was a kind of a tiny, tiny inversion. We want to move nice and slow. Eyes are open. Good. Let's inhale, draw the shoulders and elbows back. Slide the hands back. And just exhale, release. Again, elbows, shoulders back, maybe a little tailbone out, little belly forward. Nice and gentle. And exhale. Once more. Exhale, release. So we're going to find our little seated back bend here, kind of our little seated cow. Drawing the elbows back, tailbone out, belly forward, heart forward, and then find your edge. So that edge between nothing, the ease, and work. We don't want to be working that we're not breathing. So notice the tailbone. Notice the low back. Even though we're in a little back bend here, you can still draw your belly button in to support the low back. And at any point it's too much, you just back out the tiniest bit until you say, that's okay, I can breathe here. And breathe, lifting the heart. Maybe you want to lift your chin, totally up to you. And breathe into this front shoulder space. Let's do 3 slow, deep breaths here, in and out. Nice and slow, noticing the fullness, where that space goes. So open your eyes if they're closed, gently with the belly button tucked, move that tailbone back underneath you. Nice, and back to nice tall spine. So reaching the top of the head as if you were being lifted by the top of your head toward the sky. Hands down. We're going to bring the shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Just sort of move through that circle. Good. Maybe noticing an inhale when you come up and an exhale as you move down. Very nice. And moving back now, pause here at the bottom. Let's back and up and forward and down. Maybe make your circle a little bit bigger. Just kind of notice that space, all that area around your shoulder that you're using. Good. One more. Very nice. Now you can place your hand on your right hand on your right leg if you'd like, or you can leave it down, sort of whatever you want to do as far as securing your core. We're going to lift the left hand up and draw it down. And up and down. Inhaling on our reach. Good. Once more. Big, big reach. Nice. Now opening the left arm. Exhale, sweeping it across. Opening up. Exhale across. On this open, just kind of pause at that end of your range, keeping the hand up if that works, or dropping the elbow if that's better for you. Breathe, breathe into that arm, breathe into that chest. And then gently turn the head to the right. Kind of waking up that whole area here. Breathe. Good. Big inhale, reach back. Exhale, head to the front. Cross over. Now let's support the elbow. Reaching those left fingers over to the right. Breathe, ease in the jaw. Again, you can always drop your elbow. And then looking to our left. Not gripping the toes. Breathe. Letting that right shoulder kind of drop so we get the space between the ear and the shoulder. Good. Big inhale. And exhale, lower the elbow, head to the front. Nice. Just pause for a moment. Maybe close the eyes. And just notice the body. We engage our core, our knees even when we're, our feet when we're moving our arms. Nice. Open the eyes. Inhale, reach right arm. And down. And up. And down. The range of your arm doesn't matter. We're here for the breath and the movement's kind of along for the ride. Nice. Once more, big reach wherever you are in your range. And down. Good. Inhale, open. Exhale, sweep. Inhale, open. Exhale, sweep. Once more with movement. And sweep. So this is my tender side. So I'm trying not to push. You find that space between, like I said, work and ease. So open to your range, not pushing. Again, we're here for the breath. Inhale and exhale. And as your body calms and what might be upset calms down, then maybe you can return to a posture or find a bit more range. There's no need to push. Yoga doesn't make us hurt. And breathe. Nice. Big inhale. Exhale, sweep the arm across. Support the elbow. Find that space that feels nice and let your breath be there. Inhale and exhale, ease in the jaw, ease in the toes. Notice that breath, that inhale and exhale. Maybe you find a little more range or reach or ease. If this bothers your low back, we do a little tiny tuck and draw that belly button in. or play with that tailbone, belly, kind of find your sweet spot where your back feels supported. Oops, we forgot to look to the right. Let's look to the right. Sorry about that. A little extra time over here. Very nice. Nice inhale. Open the eyes if they're closed. Exhale, head to the front and lower the elbow. Very nice. So opening the knees nice and wide. I'm going to bring my heels. What am I going to do first? No, I'm going to bring my toes under my knees. So if that doesn't work for you, if your foot doesn't like to slide under that, just do it to your ability today. Maybe one foot is different from the other, but find that ankle flexion with toes under the heel, under the knees. Open the knees nice and wide. We'll do it that way. So again, this might give you a different range of sliding your feet under your knees. And then we're going to one at a time come up on the balls of our toes. So notice, maybe one is more effort than the other. And just find that position for your toes, for your heels. Good. Keeping the knees open. Nice, waking everything up. And then let's do both. Kind of getting our legs out of the normal range that we use. So even opening our knees like this ankle movement just engages different areas of the legs that we don't use when walking. Good. Rest the heels. We're going to slide the heels out so the heels are under the knees. And then lift there. So stretching the top of the ankles out and away. So this is more about the ankles than the toes. Breathe, keep the knees open, ease in the jaw. Nice. Hold. Breathe. Reach the top of that ankle out. So strong. Breathe. Nice inhale. And ease the heels down. Let's slide one in. Slide the other in. Heels are still out. Let's move them out in front of our knees and then flex the feet. So toes toward the knees. So let's pump them a little bit. So we're going to bottoms of the feet toward the ground and then pull the toes up toward the knees. Again, so important for stairs, for walking, having this flexion. Let's hold the flex, toes toward the knees, breathe, push those heels kind of into the floor and away, kind of activating those the tendons there in the front of the ankle, breathe. Very nice. And down. We'll come back to the ankles there at the end. So we're going to go ahead and stand up. I'm just turning to the corner so you can see. Again, sliding your feet under your knees is going to give you that foundation. If that doesn't work for you, if your feet really don't come under more than that, you'll want to come forward with your hips and honestly practice with holding on to something. It's very hard to get out. We don't want to throw ourselves forward. So better to adapt with something around you that you can lean on. So feet under the knees as possible, hinging at the hips. Feel those feet. So lift the toes. And as you begin to stand, before you've even stood, you feel that weight in your feet and notice. So pausing right there in that kind of that moment of that's going to be your propulsion. And we're going to use our body in toward the spine and up through the core and imagining reaching out through the top of your head for the sky We're engaging our whole body in this stand up. It's not just our poor knees or our ankle or our low back. Belly's drawn in. That's why we also use our breath. So we inhale here, and as we exhale, it's our propulsion. We're pushing the ground away and lifting that energy up and through the body. As we practice that a little bit, inhaling, lowering down, and I pivot, bring the chest over the knees a little bit more. Exhale, lift, whole body lift through the head. Inhale down, exhale. As if your skin, all that fascia, we're just helping you in and up. Such great practice for maintaining our ability to get up safely and not in pain, or at least being able to do it still, even if something hurts. Good, we're gonna pause at the bottom and breathe. Ease in the jaw, ease in the shoulders, draw that belly in and imagine pulling the top of the head away from the tailbone. Good, inhale, exhale, push the ground away, head toward the sky. Very nice. I'll have my chair right nearby if I need it. We always have a wall. You can always practice by the wall. We'll stand in Tadasana for a moment. Hips over feet, shoulders over hips. Again, tall spine. Just almost where no one could see it, lowering your chin. And almost where no one could see it, moving your ears back over your shoulders, just a hair. So we tend to drop the carriage, but then we don't want to lift the head. So neutral. Arms falling naturally from the shoulders, not trying to twist the wrists, hands some way they don't naturally fall. Gentle knees. Very nice. We'll sweep the arms up, inhale, maybe look up, take it in. And nice, gentle exhale. Let's do 2 more of those. Big sweep, take it all in. Get down. Good, again, motion and range doesn't matter. We're here for the breath. Nice, big breath. And down. Very nice. I'm going to put my fingers on my chair. Slide my right foot out. Lift my right knee. Open my right knee. Down, toes down, and then bring my knee in. So we're sort of doing this kind of a circle thing. So we're going to slide the right foot out, lift the right knee up, open the right knee, back down, toe to ankle, knee comes in, and slide the right foot out, lift the right knee, open, down, knee in. One more time, slide the right foot out, up, open, and down. Okay. And now we're just gonna do it one more time, kind of with holds. So we're first toe on the ground, but extend that leg. So thinking of reaching through the big toe with your hip. So really pointing the toe, nice tall spine. If it gives you a little hip cramp or hip cramp, calf cramp's what I meant to say. Just pause or give it a good rub. Good, breathe. Nice, now lift the right knee nice and high, hold. If you'd like to turn this into a balance challenge, you certainly may. Breathe. Nice, now open the hip. Again, you can do balance. Nice, lower the toe down, stay here for a moment. Different balance. Very nice, move the knee in and down. A lot of work on the left leg, holding us up, so the left hip getting work. Planting that right foot, notice, we're gonna do that circle again. Again, fingertips can be on the chair. Slide the foot out, nice extension, knee up, open, toe to the heel, and knee forward. Slide it out, up, open, and down. Knee forward, foot down, slide it out, knee, open, down, and forward. So now we'll try our holds. So holding that point, tall spine. Maybe we work more in balance here. We always have our chair. Very nice. Lift that left knee. Breathe. Good. Transitioning here to out. Maybe you put your fingertips down. Maybe we turn it back into balance. One side might be different than the other. Nice. And lower down, toe to the foot. Then pause there. This is also balance, even though your toe's on the ground. Nice. Knee forward and Tadasana. So that woke the hips and legs up. And breathe and notice the seat, the hips, calves. Nice cleansing breath. Let's sweep it up and out. Exhale down. Very nice. I'm going to face the back of my chair after I get a little drink of water. Use the back of my chair. Standing, let's see, maybe close enough where it's right in front of you. We're going to be stepping back. So we want that kind of space. Fingertips can be on it when our step is back. Yeah, we'll start that way. All right, inhale, sweep up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, lower the chest, lower the heart, trying to keep the shoulders back. Fingertips can rest on the chair. Good. Inhale. Lift the head. Sorry, lost my train of thought. Inhale, sweep the arms. Exhale, swan dive down. Kind of allowing the heart to lower below the hips. Inhale, lift to a half back. Stretching the head away from the tailbone. Good. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the shoulders back. Exhale, lower. And inhale, lift. Holding this half back posture. Your hands either rest on the chair or fingertips on the seat. Feet are flat. Don't push through the back of your knees. If your legs can be straight, that's great. We don't want to push through the back of the knees though. Shoulders back. Head is in neutral. It's a great stretch for the whole body really, but the low back, mid back, shoulders back, breathe. Very nice. Now replace one or both hands on the top of the thigh. Put a bend in the knees. You can have your hand on your chair if you prefer. Now we're going to come up. It's important to keep a gentle flexion and extension in the low back without pinching. So we're going to roll up, but because we're holding on, we're holding our weight of our body. We're not going to strain the low back. And if anything doesn't feel good, don't do it. So we're going to bring a gentle tuck to the tailbone first. And then we're going to gently roll the spine up. Nice and slow to standing. I'm going to do that again. Inhale up. Exhale, swan dive down, kind of a deep dive. Bend in the knees. Hands to the top of the legs. You can open the legs too. That allows the tailbone, the SI joint there to not be pinched. So when you're coming up from standing, you open the feet. It just gives that bottom of the spine a little bit more space. So we're going to very gently feel the tailbone tuck slightly. Nice and slow coming up. And we move slowly, so in case something doesn't like it, we don't push through it. Just standing. Very nice. And Tadasana. Good. Presence in the left foot. Let's lift the right knee. And step back into a gentle kind of lunge. So I'm on the balls of my toes. My heel is up. Knee, hip facing forward. Hand can be on the hips. Very nice. Now let's do cactus arms. We'll sort of go an angle here. Cactus arms. We're going to inhale here. And just like standing up, we're using our exhale to push ourselves forward and we'll reach for the sky. Exhale. Straighten the left leg. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale. Couple more. When you're doing that inhale and exhale, just think about that whole body moving. The leg is straightening. Our torso is coming in to kind of lift us up. The arms reaching up. Good. Pause with the bent knee. Inhale, arms out. And then very gently exhale to twist to the left. You can adjust that back leg if that's better. You can heel toe the left foot out a tiny bit. Put your hand on your chair, hands on the hips, whatever works for you. Breathe. And then ever so gently lower the left hand and either raise the right arm or you can set the right hand down and raise the right shoulder. Breathe. Oh, very nice. Now belly to spine, we're going to inhale and using that exhale, lift the torso, lift the head back and come back to center. Hands to the waist and step forward. Very nice. And Tadasana, take it all in. Breath in and out through the nose. Very nice. Presence in the right foot, ground in. Let's bring that left knee up. Give a little twirl to the ankle and step back. Find that bend in the right knee. We're up on our back toes, the left foot. Just find our balance first, hands on the hips. Grounding in, again, you can heel toe that right foot out. If your train tracks need to be a little bit wider, we want to be nice and steady so we can breathe. Ease in the jaw. Nice. Cactus arms or elbows can be down, doesn't matter. Good. Inhale here, thinking about our breath and our torso. Exhale, straighten the right leg, reach. Inhale. Using that body, our feet, our arms, our belly. and our breath. And moving through activities or motions and thinking about our whole body being involved and engaging, it eases the mind with what might be hurting because the rest of the body is helping to carry the load. Sit, hold, reach, breathe here. Good. Inhale, drop down, hold here. Breathe. Inhale. And exhale, open to the right. This side might be different. Again, you can use a chair. You can put your right arm on your waist. Breathe. Very nice. And we're going to lower that right hand ever so gently, left palm up, and then lifting the left palm. Or you can touch any hand to a chair and lift the left shoulder. Breathe. Nice. We'll inhale and use our exhale to bring the belly in, lift the torso, lift the head to the sky, come back to center, and step forward. And Tadasana. Strong feet. Maybe you feel energy in your legs, hips, back, and arms. Breathe. Two more breaths just here, noticing the body. Nice presence in the hands. We'll sweep the arms out and up. Big breath. Open mouth, exhale. There it is. And come back into our chair. Calves touch the front of the seat, so we know it's there. Feet can be under the hips, or even a little bit wider if you'd like. Maybe hands at the heart space. Just remembering we're breathing as we go down. And lowering yourself down, hinge at the hip, taking the head away from the tailbone, nice tall, straight back. Lowering down, nice and slow. Feel what's engaging. If you feel your weight dropping into your heels, lower your shoulders a bit forward. If you feel yourself coming forward, reach your seat back a bit. Kind of find your own balance. And come down. Come forward in the seat. Hands to the knees. Inhale. And exhale, we're going to bring the right shoulder over toward the left knee. And find what works for you, whatever your back is calling for. Maybe you want both of your hands on your left knee. Maybe you like to sort of push the right leg away and find that space between your right hip and your right shoulder. Or maybe you want to drop your right shoulder. So just listen to your body on what your right side of your back and hip needs here. And maybe it's a little combination of both. Breathe, not gripping the toes, not gripping the jaw. If you're straining your neck, you can let the head fall. Very nice. Now keeping the torso down, hands to the knees, we're gonna swing through center and go over to the right side. And again, here it might be different. You might want to rest your elbow and push the other shoulder away, or you might want to bring both hands over to the left knee. You find what works for you. Maybe a gentle tailbone tuck here, belly to spine. Very nice. And then both hands to the knees, chest sort of still down. I'd like to bring our knees together and fold over the knees. We did a lot of extension with the low back. I want to do a little bit of flexion. So a little gentle forward fold here, supported by our chest. And if that hurts your chest, you can fold your arms. And open your legs just a little. I just say if we open our legs too much, now we're in a back bend. Because our tailbone kind of sticks out. So I want to keep the knees underneath us and think of tucking the tailbone and lowering the head. So our back really is more rounded. You can let your arms drape if you'd like, or you could stack your fists on your head. I'm gonna stack your fists on your knees. Let your elbows hang. Reaching that tailbone down for the chair. Compression in the front body. Again, you can always just move your elbows to your knees instead and let your head hang. Find your comfortable place, breathe. So now hands to the knees. We're going to keep the head down at first. We're going to come back, tucking the tailbone under, sort of moving back into cat. So tailbone is underneath us. We're holding onto our knees, kind of pulling the shoulders back, but against the fingers. So rounding the shoulders forward, drop the head, reaching the mid back. Nice. Now thinking about the tailbone first, tailbone rolling out and up. It brings the pelvis up and then heart forward and back to seated. Very nice. And gently think about our left ear. We're going to move the left ear away from the left shoulder. Ease in the jaw. Inhale. Belly to spine. We're going to use our breath here too. Exhale, pick, sort of you're pushing the air up through the ribs and lifting the head. So we're trying not to strain the neck and use the whole body to lift the head. And move the right ear away from the right shoulder. Nice and gentle. Find a spot that feels nice and breathe. Nice inhale. Think about that exhale. Think about that core. Exhale, push in toward the center. Reach up toward the sky with the head. And relax. Very nice. We're going to move toward relaxation. Find a place that's comfortable. Either sitting back in your chair. Maybe you want to sit on the couch, lie down on the couch, lie down on the floor. Someplace where you don't have to work to keep your limbs where they are. If you're sitting, sometimes I like to rest the back of my hands right up in the crease of my leg, or rest one hand in the other where my shoulders aren't working. And then maybe your feet slide out a tiny bit. thinking of the belly, that space between the hip points, below the belly button. Think there as you breathe. You don't have to do deep breaths, but just think there as you breathe. You breathe, think of the space, that tender space right between the opening of the ribs. Just breathing in, breathing out, but focusing on that place. Drawing the focus up a bit to the center of the chest, right below the collarbone, the center of the chest, across the heart, that space between the shoulders. That lifting, the place that just the heart and everything around it. And think of that space as you breathe. Observation as you breathe up to the spot between your eyebrows, just above your eyebrows. That spot in the middle of the forehead. And you can make it larger. You can make it the face, the whole forehead. Bring our breath into our whole body. So almost as you're watching yourself from above, imagining just that whole body space you have and the breath that moves in and out. Your feet and hands. Gentle movement to your fingers and toes. Noticing the breath as it changes as you move. And making any movements that your body wants to make. Gently placing the fingertips together, opening the palms. Thanking yourself for your body, your breath, your yoga. And palms together, fingertips toward the sky. And down, thumbs to the heart space. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste.